Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing the Plumbob build challenge, which was suggested by the user Chazzy Sims. I do know that Lilsimsie and I think Vixella have also done the challenge build. I've only quickly looked at their videos because I didn't want to get swayed into doing it a certain way. So this is my version of the challenge. I once again was undecided with how I wanted to do the build. So I was originally going to add loads of green in there because I thought, you know, Plumbobs are green, but then I just thought I don't want to add too much pressure onto myself. So in the end, I just went for a very dark, muted looking house. I do feel like it ended up looking a little bit like a prison, but I don't know, I think it's a cool look. I was undecided with the green though for quite a while, so I do end up deciding to maybe add a little bit outside, and then halfway through I was like, nope, can't be doing this, need to get rid of it. I also decided that it needs to be a 2-story building. A 1-story building would not have been enough room for this, so I do 1.5. So I split the top just so there's like a balcony outside, and I was trying to decide for ages how I was going to be doing the balcony. I didn't know which way to go, but then I thought with where the house is, like, it's just trees everywhere, so I didn't feel like it mattered too much. I feel like if it was in Solani that I'd done this build, then I think the placement of the build would have mattered a little bit more. So going on to the inside of the build, I end up putting one of the corners as the kitchen, and oh my god, it was really hard to try and fit everything that I needed to. So I end up putting these counters in the corner, so I do use a lot of vines on the outside to cover a lot of things up. I've never really used the vines before, and oh my god, they are a godsend for clipping and stuff like that. With the fridge and where I also put the microwave, I was worried that it wouldn't be rootable, but I have played the house and it's definitely rootable. I've actually created a new world specifically for my build now, and I've also created a specific sim. Her name is Stefani, or Stephanie with an I, and her last name is Wilburn. Yeah, so her name is Stephanie Wilburn, and if you get on the wrong side of her, she will burn you. So that's the sim, and I may end up featuring her in a few of the builds, but I thought it'd be cool just to have a specific sim that could be like the estate agent to take people around the builds at the end. So going through the kitchen, I was having a massive struggle with the cabinets at the top, and I know they don't match the ones at the bottom, but the counters don't have cabinets, so I just had to go with these ones. I was going to go green, but then I thought, no, let's just go black. And at this point, I think that's when I was like, yeah, I'm not going to add too much green into the build. I also really like that pot, the massive vase. It works quite nicely as just to fill that little corner because I didn't know what to put there, so I thought if I just shove that in there. So you will need to have move objects on for this build to work. I struggled loads with this table as well. I didn't know where I wanted it. I thought I would have it in the middle because I sort of wanted to create like an arrow shape with the counters and the table, but then I ended up moving that over to the left a little bit more just so I could add a TV and just have a little sofa area because I didn't want to have too much space again in this build. I realised I'm making my builds very big and they need to be a lot smaller than they actually are. That space under the stairs though, I was so glad I could use a piano. I haven't used the piano in the game and it was the first time, and that sort of inspired me as well with this build to have the house for maybe a musical couple or like a male musician. So that's the sort of vibe that's going to go through the house a little bit, not majorly. I do like my houses to sort of feel new at the same time. Like, I like having a bit of clutter, but I still like them to feel like fresh, as if they're like just been built and they're ready for someone to move in, and people can then add their own taste into buildings, if you know what I mean. I still like adding some clutter items, just not loads. As you'll see, I also make a little decking area outside. So with my usual style, I don't really do much gardening or landscaping, and I just add a little barbecue in the end. But like you will see at the very end, I do add a little bit of a garden, and I was quite impressed with what I did, if I do say so myself. So I'm definitely seeing my gardening improving a lot more in this process of my builds and these challenges that I'm doing. So it's really good to see, to be fair. Anyway, on to the windows. These were another massive issue for me. I didn't know what I wanted to do for the windows. I was trying to find something to match the door, and then I couldn't, and then I decided to change my mind with the style of the doors. So I ended up trying to go for like a set, so I ended up changing it to like Just Famous, and then I realised that I didn't like the doors on Just Famous, and then I'm like getting confused because I'm like, oh, the doors look different on diagonals compared to on like the horizontal. So in the end, I change it back to the original doors that I had, but then I use the Get Famous windows and the Moschino windows through the house. So yeah, it was a massive kerfuffle of what I was going to do. For the wallpaper, which you can see, I end up changing that from that sort of tile, and I end up just using the brick that was on the outside. I like it. It's quite industrial. It worked with the theme of the building that I was going for, so I don't mind using the brick from the outside on the inside. Now, I am super happy with how the shower turned out. I created a custom shower. It was my very first one, and I was just like, do you know what? Let's just have a little bit of fun with it, see how it goes. If it's terrible, it's terrible. But I was super happy with it, so I'm definitely getting confident with what I'm doing on my builds now, like compared to how I was doing. So I definitely think eventually I want to go over some of my old builds that I've done. They're not even that old, they're like a month old, but I definitely feel in this last month like my skill level has gone from like a 1 to a 3 maybe. I've still got a long way to go, but yeah, I really loved how it turned out. I did use a bit of inspiration from my last video for it though, but I just wanted to create a custom shower. So this is the living room. Again, I was struggling with what furniture I wanted to use, and then I add like a green little coffee table because I was determined to just have some green, but I was just like, no, I need to nut. And the entire time I had it there, I was like, no, it will be the one green item I have because I need to have at least something that's green because it's a Plumbob. But no, I was just like, let's get rid of it and I'll just put something that's pretty decent down instead. So you'll see the other little corner room that I have, because we've only got 2 little corner rooms. I have that as a little study. So yeah, there's nothing much to really say about it other than the fact that I end up putting some candles on the bookshelf, which is probably a fire hazard. And then I'm just like, yeah, it's not like an exciting room. It's just a study room. I needed a computer somewhere, which I put in at like the very end of the game anyway. I still hadn't even changed the upstairs of the brickwork at the moment, but I think I'll do that in a minute because I realised that it just looks terrible. Like, I was convinced that was a look, and then I was just like, no, it's just not working. I think the windows that I used as well, that also sort of gave me that sort of prison vibe. But I don't know, maybe it was like an old prison that's been converted into a house, and the designer was just like, yeah, let's just make it like a Plumbob house for the old prison. So it could be like a prison bob. I also, by the way, one of the reasons I ended up doing the Plumbob, as I said, one of the guys, I think, did I say, what was his name again? Sorry. Yeah, Chazzy Sims. He did say that as my username is that Plumbob Rob that I probably should do a Plumbob. So yeah, I guess that's why I'm doing it, to be fair. I really do appreciate people commenting and giving me ideas for videos, because I wasn't going to do the Plumbob, but then obviously he suggested it, so I thought I may as well. Anyway, upstairs, I really liked the textures that I added into the bedroom and stuff, and I feel like it just gave it a bit more warmth to it, because the house is quite sort of clinical looking. So here I think I'm now working on all the lighting in the house, which is my favourite thing to do. I love making the house dark and then working with the lighting just to create some mood lighting. Yeah, I think it just, it's just one of those things. I just think it adds so much more sort of atmosphere to the house, and I like how it turned out downstairs as well with those hanging lights. And I'm trying to also use wall lights and floor lights and not just sticking to ceiling lights. I really want to just stay away from them, to be fair. On the balcony outside, I really wanted to add like a hot tub, and then I realised that I only have that massive garish one, which I think was free. So I just add like a little sunbathing area, add a little table, and I end up putting like a little cute little lantern on there. And then I just add a couple of yoga mats. That is my sort of standard balcony thing, just a lounger and a yoga mat. So you'll probably see it that a lot, but I will, as I've said, learn new things to put outside. And I guess if I do download a new expansion pack, then I'll have more stuff. And I'm really tempted to now get cats and dogs, because I do think that there may be some good stuff in the pack, even though I don't want cats or dogs in my game. I also haven't spoken about the Eco Living pack yet, but I think I will do I will give my opinion when it's actually released, because I don't think I should give an opinion when I don't know everything in there. But I think it looks like a really cool pack, and it comes with ladders, so that'll make it super fun to do, and I think there'll be so many more challenges. Anyway, back to this. I'm just adding some clutter items just to make it a little bit more homely. I did say that I wanted it to look brand new, so I don't think I should have added the shoes yet, but I did. So, sue me. I add some posters around, some photos, like all the usual. I'm trying to not go, let's do all the flowers, then let's do all the posters. I'm sort of looking at the sort of blank areas and then deciding what looks right. And I'm just trying to focus a little bit more on the house and taking my time, because I can just speed these videos up. Like, this took me about 2 hours to film, and I've managed to get this down to like about 17 minutes. So yeah, you can do a lot of things with editing, and I haven't even cut anything out. Like, this is just sped up to like 1,000%. So yeah, you can imagine how long this video would have been before. I didn't know what to put on the sides of the... Actually, do you know what? Just then, with the money bag, like, I don't know why I did that. I just thought that would be kind of fun. Like, I don't know why I did that. Yeah, I just add like some awards and plants onto the shelves by the beds, and I did want to add a little planter box, because I don't really do much gardening in the game, but I thought maybe it'd be cool just to have something just growing up there to create a bit more greenery. I love the tone of the lights, by the way, down there, and those things that I just placed, I hadn't found them in my game for ages, and then I finally found them, so now I know which pack they came in. I'm going to start using those loads, because I think they just add like a really nice texture on the outside. These lights as well, I like that they're more spotlighty, to create more atmosphere. It does make it feel, again, a bit more prisony, but I don't know, it is what it is. I also do that trick again with those lamps and put those on the fence. I think it works well, so I am going to be doing that a lot more, so you'll have to get used to me doing that in the game. And then I think that's basically everything that I did with the main majority of the house. And then all I do on the back, because it was so empty, is I just add some vines just going up. I was going to do these purple ones, but they looked too uniform, so I just end up getting some like just normal green vinery. And vinery, is that a word? It is now. So just add some like green vinery and just add that to the back, and it looks so much nicer than the white one that I had there first. And then I just sort of like mess around with that until it looks right. And then I just do the garden at the front, and I was very impressed with myself. I think I did maybe add too much hedging around the building, but like other than that, like I was super happy. And like, you know, I was saying about how my skills are going up, and I'm now like a level 3 with something in the house now. I feel like I'm definitely at level 2 with my gardening skills. I was super impressed. I had like little rocks and everything, and I even did a really cool path going up. But yeah, that's everything. So I will add a tour of the house. Actually, yeah, I will add a little tour of the house at the end. And yeah, until next time, I hope you like enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Feel free to leave me comments, and also I really hope you will be watching one of my videos that will be going up soon, because I am going to be doing a collab with 5 other simmers, and it's going to be an awesome build. I'm super excited to do it, but there's just a little bit of planning that needs to go into that. So that should hopefully be up next week. And in the meantime, take care, and yeah, bye.